So in this video we're going to talk about going between standard form and slope-intercept form. If you look down here, we have slope-intercept right here, and standard form right here as well. This is the form we like. This is the form that tells us all the information. This form tells us not much. It doesn't really tell us anything. It's a starting point. It's usually how we see lines before we get them in slope-intercept form. So it's important to know that to get stuff from standard, which is the AX, so this is A, this is B, and this is C, and then there's your X and Y. To get stuff from standard to slope-intercept, the best way is to solve for Y. So we can't combine 3x with anything without an x. That's because this is a term, this is a term, and this is a term. So we have to watch out for that. That because this 3 is multiplied by the x, it's different. And because this 2 is multiplied by the y, it's different. 6 has no variable, it's different. I'll repeat that. Because 3 is multiplied by x, it is different. Because 2 is multiplied by y, it is different. Because 6 has no variable, it is different. Therefore, there are 3 different terms in this. So we can't combine any of the terms, but we can make them look kind of different by solving for y. So on this first one, the first thing I would do would be, because we have a plus 3x right here, to undo plus, we subtract. So we get negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. So we get the
Thank you.
we get the problem that looks like this by dividing by negative 2. So once you subtract the 3, get the x over, the x term over. By getting the x term over, we get this problem right here, the negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. By moving that over, we get that. Now we need to get y by itself. We have this pesky negative 2 with the y. It's multiplied, so we want to divide. We're going to divide by negative 2, means those cancel out. We're left with y equals negative 3 over negative 2 x plus 6 over negative 2. Alright, so far so good. We're just splitting up that, dividing what we need to divide, and we get y equals positive 3 over 2 x plus negative 3. So what they'll probably ask is, what is m? M in this case is 3 over 2. So that's what they may ask, is what is your slope? So let's go over the steps again. First, you either add or subtract your x. You need to get x over to the other side. So you either add or subtract it depending on what you need to do. If you have a negative x, you add it. If you have a positive x, you subtract it. So that's what we did up here. We subtracted 3x. Now we need to get y alone, so we're going to divide by whatever number is in front of y. So that's going to be negative 2. Then we simplify. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. And positive divided by a negative is a negative. So you get 3 over 2 minus 3 or plus x minus 3 or plus negative 3, it's the same thing. But our slope is 3 over 2. So I'll show the same thing right here, and I'll show how we do that again. So we're going to minus 2x because we have a plus 2x. If you remember, that's this step. And then that's going to be minusing 2x from this side. Again, we can't combine 2x and 5 because the 5 doesn't have an x. It's a different term. That's why they don't combine. They don't combine because they're different terms. Now we're going to divide by 5, right? So we get negative 2 divided by 5, which is just negative 2/5. And negative 5 divided by 5 is 1, but it's negative 1, so we get minus 1. So your m in this case is negative 2/5. So this is a really important step, being able to go from ax plus by equals c to y equals mx plus b. So again, your first step is to isolate the y term, get it alone. Once you do that, you can then divide by the number in front of y, and that will give you your final equation. Again, get y term alone on one side, then divide by the number in front of y, and that will solve your equation. We can do, I think we did one together, but let's go over that one then. Let's go over one more. You can pause the video and go back here if you like. I'm going to go over one more problem that's similar to this, so you can see how it's done again, and that way you have 3 examples to work from. So this one is the 8x minus 4y equals 8. So first step, again, get y term alone. So we're going to minus 8x because it's plus 8x. We get negative 4y. Again, we can't combine this 8 and the negative 8 because they're not x, because they're not the same. This 8 does not have an x on it. This 8 does. So we get negative 8x plus 8. Now we need to get y alone, so we're going to divide by the number in front. And we get y equals, so positive, right? Positive, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So we get positive 2 there. And then here, 4 goes into 8 2 times, but it's negative, so minus 2. So we get y equals 2x minus 2. M in this case is 2, or 2 over 1. They're the same thing, so it's not that big of a concern which one you use. But yeah, this is how you do it. Again, get the y term alone. Once you get the y term alone, you can then, by subtracting or adding the x term, you can then divide by the number in front of y. Make sure to do it to both of the numbers on the other side, and you get this. You get your y equals mx plus b. It's pretty easy to go between, but it can get confusing. So just follow the steps of subtract your x or add your x, whatever you need to do to get it over. Don't combine the terms because it's not possible they both don't have an x. Then divide by the number in front of y, and it will solve your equation down into y equals mx plus b, and you'll be able to find your m term. Alright, I hope that helps you. I tried to go over it as many times as I could, repeating everything I could, and using 3 examples.